Hello and welcome to the Album Man, and today I'm doing weekly rock news for the 17th of February 2013. But before we get into that and the albums I've been listening to over the past week, I just want to talk about I sort of hinted a bit ago that I was going to be doing a Beatles discography. Well, I've sort of changed my mind. I decided to put it up to a vote for those you don't know. I did say about my Feeding the Trolls video, which you should check out if you haven't, and I have set up my Facebook page, which you should like if you haven't. But yeah, so I've got quite a few responses so far, which I'm really pleased with. But of course, the more the merrier, so there's a link in the description below to this poll website, and you order them from the one you want most to the one you want least. And the bands are Dream Theater, David Bowie, the Beatles, Magnum, Whitesnake, Rainbow, and Marillion. So please do vote for those. It's very close at the moment. I'm really not quite sure who's going to win, and it ends on Friday, so yeah, do definitely vote on that. Okay, let's get into the news. So, as usual, from the least to the biggest. So, apparently, Metallica has been having to tell the military to stop using their music as torture. Apparently, the US Army would use Metallica music to soften people up before they interrogated them, and this is in the war in Iraq. Really? I mean, that is a bit weird that they use Metallica music to soften people up for interrogation or torture. I mean, I can understand if they're playing them in anger, that would be a fairly torturous thing, but I don't know, do Iraqi terrorists not like Metallica? I mean, I don't know, it seems a bit weird, but now apparently they're using a Christian metal band called Demon Hunter. So, yeah, I don't know why they seem to have to use a metal band to soften people up, but okay. Next, we have, this is quite interesting, it's that David Lee Roth has expressed big interest in Michael Anthony, the former bassist and backing vocalist of Van Halen, to rejoin them. He's been praising Michael Anthony's voice, because he did have such a fantastic backing, he's such a fantastic backing vocalist, he really was. And yeah, it seems that I think David Lee Roth finds that really, Wolfgang and Eddie, they're trying to, I don't know, maybe push him out or something. Maybe he feels a bit threatened by having so many Van Halens in the band. I mean, yeah, literally, he is the only non-Van Halen in the band. But, yes, I do find it quite interesting. Maybe it could cause a bit of tension in Van Halen after this, and who knows if there'll be another album and tour. But I think there probably will, to be honest. I think there will. Okay, next we have the Leonard Skinner's guitarist Gary Rossington has been taken to hospital in a health scare, and the band have been forced to cancel a couple of shows this weekend. He said that he was hospitalised in Wyoming, and they're waiting further tests and treatment and whatever. It seems to be from an abdominal infection. So yeah, I hope he gets better from that and can continue playing, because Skinner, they've been putting out some really good stuff the last few years. I really enjoy the current lineup. I think they're very good, and it wouldn't be the same without Rossington, as he is the only original member, I think, left. Yeah. Okay, so getting close to the second to last news, and this is very interesting. Robert Plant has hinted that he might be open to a Led Zeppelin reunion next year, 2014. And it's very interesting. He said, it's only quite vague, but he was saying about the sort of subject. He was saying, you need to see the Capricorns. By them he means John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page. I've got nothing to do in 2014. It's sort of leaving it, I don't know, maybe Celebration Days inspired him to get back Zeppelin. I mean, that would be unbelievable if they would go on a proper tour, make a new album. I mean, yeah, that would be the comeback artist of the century, quite literally, I'd say. So yes, I hope something does happen. That would be nice. And they'd go on a tour that isn't just one massively oversold date in London. Okay, and the final news, and biggest in my opinion, is Megadeth have confirmed they're going to be releasing their 14th studio album in June with the silly name of Super Collider. I think this is just a really stupid name, Super Collider. I mean, yes, I know it's based on, the name's based on that audio or programming language that's to do with audio or something called Super Collider. But it still doesn't make it any good. I mean, it still sounds like a crap name, but... Oh, well, I've massively enjoyed Megadeth's past two releases. 13 and Endgame, I think, are two of the best they've ever released. I still think that Rust in Peace is their best album. I mean, you know, it's their seminal album. But, yeah, I mean, I really love them. So, you know, if to do something more like that, then it'll probably be a really fantastic Megadeth, and I'm very, very excited for that. Yeah. June's shaping up to be pretty decent with Black Sabbath's new album, Megadeth's new album, bloody wonderful. Okay, and now we move on to what albums I've been listening to over the past week or whatever. So we start with Caravan's The Land of Grey and Pink. This is one of my favourite progressive records, and I absolutely love it. I mean, also the album artwork, it's beautiful. And this is their 1971, I think, seminal album. And I'm going to be reviewing this very soon by the end of the week, as I'm entering A. Salieri's Whenever the Hell reviewing contest. And there'll be a link to the video about that if anyone's at all interested in it, in the description. And yeah, usually it's only for game reviews. It's a, you know, actually a competition of reviews. That's what he's famous on YouTube for, is reviewing other reviewers, mainly game reviews. But this time he's left it open to any type of review. So I thought I'd enter as a bit of fun. He is one of my favourite YouTubers. So yeah, and I'll be reviewing this album, so that'll be good. Next we have, after Megadeth announced a new album, I just felt like listening to Endgame. Hadn't heard this album for quite a while actually, and yeah, really enjoyed it. It's a really solid, it's fantastic really, Megadeth thrash metal album. I mean, you know, what's there to say really. Leonard Skinner's Second Helping. Yes, this was, well, yeah, it was very impressive. Obviously, this is their second album, their first being Pronounced, which I think is probably the best album they've done, well, except for God and Guns, but, you know, it's a whole everything, best of the original lineup. And, I mean, yeah, this has songs such as, well, Sweet Home Alabama, Working for the MCA, The Ballad of Curtis Lowe, Needle and the Spoon, Call Me the Breeze. It's a really classic album. And I absolutely love it. I mean, what's there not to love? It's, you know, this one and the first one, put them together, you pretty much have their greatest hits. I mean, this is an album I listened to yesterday, Izzy Stradlin and the Juju Hounds, and that's it, it's self-titled. And this was released before the breakup of Guns N' Roses. It was released, I think, just after Izzy left. Because he left on a Use Your Illusion tour in about 92, and this was released in 92. So I imagine he probably left. One of the reasons was to record this. The main reason was that he was surrounded by druggies and he was trying to get clean. But he probably also recorded this, and this is a really cracking album. I really enjoyed it. It's just really solid. I'm not saying, you know, it's one of my favourite albums or anything, but it's just a really solid album with that type of 14 years style that Izzy provided, especially on the Use Your Illusion albums. There's a lot of Izzy influence, but he influenced Guns N' Roses' sound massively. I mean, he co-wrote a lot of their songs, and yeah, I really like it. Definitely recommend picking it up if you see it and you're a GNR fan. Okay, penultimate one, Wishbone Ash's Argus. I got this for Christmas and finally got round to listening to it, and wow, I mean, it blew me away. The guitarists, Andy Powell and Ted Turner, just phenomenal. The guitar work on this album is just mind-blowing. And then the vocal harmonies from especially Martin, the bassist, and Andy. Really, I love the way that it really is effectively, most of the songs are pretty much duets. And yeah, I think my favourite song from it is probably Warrior, and then my second favourite song, Leaf and Stream. Leaf and Stream is a bit folky actually, but yeah, such a good album. Definitely recommend it for any prog fan. I mean, it's a 1972 prog classic. And yeah, they're playing Prog Fest, which I'm going to see, the Hard Rock Hell Prog Fest, and well, Martin Turner's Wishbone Ash are, because there's two versions, Wishbone Ash, which is Andy Powell's, and Martin Turner's Wishbone Ash, which is Martin Turner's. But yeah, they are one of the headliners at Prog Fest, which is pretty good. And then lastly, the only vinyl I've been listening to this week, being in more of a CD mood, is Mike Oldfield's Hedges Ridge, which I think is definitely his most underrated album. In fact, I think it's actually his best. I do prefer it to Tubular Bells. That's simply because I always find Tubular Bells Part 2 to be a little disappointing. I mean, Part 1 is a masterpiece, but Part 2 is like, it's decent. It's just not mind-blowing. But I think Hedges Ridge, it's a really solid album. It does have some low points, again, in part way through Part 2. And it's one of those, again, it's one side is Part 1, second side Part 2, just 2 tracks to it. And it's a fantastic album. I really do like it a lot and think it's his best, probably. Okay, so this has been the Album Man. Do vote on my discography poll if you haven't already. And can't rate, subscribe, and long live rock and roll.